Hey!
This is JJ and Alex.
I made a name for myself, I told you I won't be denied.
As you wrap up your day, it's time to get your fix of the teams you live for and the sports you love. This is JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody, welcome on in. It is a special edition of JJ and Alex right here at 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. This is one of the funner days we get to participate in being employed in radio. It's one of the funnest times of the year for us. It's one of the coolest things that we're able to be a part of. And every radio station that matters in the market is sitting around in one room. Competition only matters today, Sly, off of how much you can bring in to donate to the Road Home Holiday Mediathon that, of course, happens every year, and we're really excited about it. You've been at these before. This is
last year.
This is old hat for you. This is it's really fun to be able to do it. Santa's in the house. We've got all set up in one.
He's looking jolly.
I know. Listen, that's a great.
Is that a Rudolph cup?
Yeah, he's got the Rudolph cup. His mustache on the beard, so the beard is in shape. It's awesome. And then he's got the curled up on the mustaches.
That's
with
a
the
spiffy Santa. He
I
doesn't
know,
look like he was
I
stressed
know.
at all.
No, they don't do that. Listen, they're not gonna. This is the legit guy right here. Like the boots, the boots are custom. I mean, it looks good. So, welcome on in. Though we are super excited
he's
to be
getting
a part
hugs.
of it.
He's loving it. He's a celebrity.
I know. And
my
did
God.
you see his? It's not really a seat. It's a throne over there. Did
I
you
didn't
see it?
see that.
Yeah, it's got like a little footstool over there. It's like all velvet.
Put your feet up, Santa.
I know. This is going to be awesome. So we're here all day, and we're helping people to be able to get the services that they need for something that is absolutely a necessity, unfortunately, in our state, in our community, in this valley. And the Road Home provides so much for so many people. Every night, every day. It doesn't stop. It's not just during the holidays. It's right now. And so we're asking for you to be able to chip in on this as well and show up because they've said it before, too. The sports listeners, the KSL Sports Zone listeners, they contribute so much to this because they go.
Particularly
Yeah,
KSL.
they just go, and the KSL Sports Zone goes, hey, we're doing it. Our listeners show up big time. They go, we're not messing around. We're just gonna go right after it. We're gonna keep those donations coming, and so we are going to be chatting with some guests all day, and your donation is going to be honored, and it's also going to be matched. And in a lot of cases, like right now, I think in a few minutes we're going to be able to start to triple your donation. That's right. We're going to start it off right. So keep it right here, and we're going to make sure and get you dialed in here. And, of course, we're going to bring you everything on our rundown as well on top of all of it. But it's just a fun atmosphere. Sly sitting in for JJ today, but these are fun days, man, and I appreciate you coming down, but this is a really cool place to be able to do it, man.
Oh, yeah. No, man. I love it, man. I actually have 3 bags of clothes in my car, and I was supposed to drop it off, sometime other this week, and I haven't been able to.
Hey, this
and
is
look,
the place.
I'm here today.
This is the place.
And so it's absolutely perfect. This fits right into who I am and all of this. I love being able to give back, especially this time of year. As I said, Santa's over here getting hugs.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
It's
special everywhere around. I mean, even with a crap ton of people out in the streets, there is smiles all around. So this is just the perfect time of year, and it just makes sure that everybody spreads the holiday joy.
Well, we've got tons to get going on here with the program. Our producer, Alex Napolis, of course, back in Salt Lake hitting the buttons. And so let's start everything off right today. On a Friday, let's get it kicked off with the cut. Top of the program. Hey, college football playoffs start right now. Let's do it.
It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Say what you will about the college football playoffs. We've had a lot to say. From a critique standpoint, Sly, we are quick to judge the committee. We're quick to judge all the teams that are bickering of going back and forth. We're quick to talk about the SEC trying to carve out more than they probably deserve. And I'm telling you, all of that kind of goes away when the games are actually on the docket.
Let's start this thing.
And I'm telling you, it's really fun to watch this thing roll out because again, like I said, I'll watch any bowl that's on TV. Actually, that's not true. That Western Michigan game today was an absolute I mean, it was like Western Michigan and Kennesaw State, and I think it was 34-0 with like 4 minutes to go in the second quarter, and I was like, what are we doing? So some of these bowls don't matter. The ones that start and matter the most fire up tonight, your first round, Alabama going to Norman, Oklahoma. That's going to be your first round matchup. The number 9 seeded Alabama Crimson Tide and the number 8 seeded Oklahoma facing off. And as I look at these matchups, we're going to go through and kind of make some predictions here. By the way, this portion of the show brought to you by good folks at Trajan Wealth, TRAJAN Wealth.com for all your trusted local needs in retirement. That's TrajanWealth.com. Okay, so the college football playoff first round here. These two teams met up during the season, and Alabama lost to Oklahoma. This will be the second time they go to this will be the second time that they play them. The first time they beat them in Tuscaloosa. This time they go to Norman. I don't know what to think about these two teams because they're both teams, Sly, that I think people look at and they go, I don't know. Both of those teams have looked weak at certain parts of the year. This is not the Nick Saban Alabama. People are still they're already saying if Kalen DeBoer doesn't get through this first round, if he gets blown out of the first round.
He's out of this program.
I'll tell you what, him and that Byrne fella. But that's how it works in the South.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
you look at this and you say, okay, and I don't know
Here's
what you're going
to. You're out.
Yeah, I don't know what you're going to get with these two teams. And they've been sitting out. This is why, sitting out 3 weeks, you wonder what you're going to get. And these are both teams that didn't play in an SEC championship game, and they're facing – Alabama did. Alabama did and got blown.
They didn't play. They didn't play.
No, they got blown out. Remember? And after the game, it was their quarterback, Ty Simpson, saying, oh, yeah, but by the way, we know we're the best offense in the country. Everyone went, you rushed for -3 yards. Not for a half. All game long, -3 yards for the entire game. But, yes, you are the best offense in the country. Yeah. First round impressions here, and this one that's going to kick off tonight. Your thoughts on Alabama versus Oklahoma? It's a great matchup. I don't love when you have to get the repeat game in the college football playoff, and we've got a bunch of those in the first round. It seems like we have a ton of those in the first round. So thoughts on Alabama and Oklahoma? I think out of all the games, it's definitely one of the better ones on the docket because you have two big brand names that are going to be on primetime TV tonight.
Well, my first impressions is this is the reason why I think we need to expand the playoffs because I really love the at-home playoff game, right? Instead of the neutral location, if you could get guys who have done their jobs through the season to be able to host the playoff game, I think it's absolutely awesome to be able to have one. We've seen incredible games at Norman, Oklahoma over the years, and I'm hoping that tomorrow is one of them. But I think, as you said, like Alabama coming in this year, they're not the old Nick Saban one, so that's always an asterisk when you talk about Alabama. Everybody's wondering why the heck they're in the playoffs, even with 3 losses, and they lost the SEC championship their last game. Why are they in there when there's viable teams that could and should be in there? And so there's just a lot of other marketing and media and narratives that are going on. Outside of that, the game itself, these are 2 SEC opponents, right? 2 SEC opponents that both have something that they want to prove. You know, Oklahoma wants to prove that they are a viable threat in that SEC West region, and then Alabama wants to prove that their Nick Saban being here doesn't really matter. We're still going to get the job done. So outside of that, I think there's just a lot to prove, and Alabama's kind of fortunate, I believe, enough to have such a crappy SEC championship game and still have the opportunity to vie for a championship. And so this game is going to be crazy. I think they're equally matched. Again, you look at the line, you look at the statistics, they're very, very similar. The line is Oklahoma's favored by 1.5.
Yeah,
not even 3.
But at home, you get 3 points, and so that's kind of like it's negligible. It's basically
you're
a
saying
pick 'em.
Alabama here.
Yeah.
But again, it's a home game for Oklahoma, so I just think that both of these teams have a lot to prove. So I'm hoping for some good football tomorrow.
Again, we criticize the process, but these are the types of matchups in December that you're kind of hoping for in terms of the big name, the big draw, lots of talent on both sides. On the flip side, you've got Brent Venables and Oklahoma.
Right.
This is a guy that we've criticized a ton in the past. I mean, because he took this program after Bob Stoops, of course, passes it to Lincoln Riley. Lincoln Riley summarily leaves Norman and goes
Give me the money
on the private jet out to USC. Brent Venables comes in
takes
and
the Heisman quarterback.
I mean, listen, last year they were 7-5 during the regular season, and then they lost their bowl game. They're 7-6. 7-6 in Oklahoma at Oklahoma is actually probably. I mean, 7-6 at Alabama is the world is melting down. Oklahoma's kind of the same way, except for they're trying to get things revamped. And I give credit to Brent Venables. They're in the college football playoff in a year that everybody said, if you don't get it done this year, if you can't figure it out this year, you're gone. And I think that really kind of hit. And so what did he do? He asked, well, first of all, Jim Nagy comes in and starts running the offense. And what do they do also? The whole front office, he's kind of doing the whole kind of the GM thing and saying, hey, let's do this. Ben Arbuckle and John Mateer come from Wazoo, and it's been a good year for him. There have been some injury issues, of course, with John Mateer. He was a early Heisman front runner. Since then, he's just kind of been a little bit and a little bit middle of the road and kind of inaccurate as well. And so I wonder what you're going to get tonight, because I think this is the type of game, Sly, that both of these defenses can absolutely shut down the other offense. And you could see one of these like 17-16 type games, one of these, no offenses really get it going, even though you have kind of some lauded quarterbacks in there. I think that Oklahoma coming across against Alabama today, I don't know. I have no idea what to think about these two teams, because I have seen different versions of them, right? I've seen very different Oklahomas this year. When they lost to Texas, like it wasn't even close. When Florida State blew the doors off of Alabama at the beginning of the year, we had no idea what we were going to get with these guys at Alabama either. Right. And they turned it around to their credit. So both of these coaches are heavily criticized. One of the worst markets to try to prove yourself in if you're a head coach. And so, thoughts on this game? Who's going to win this one?
Man, I don't know, man. I'm just looking at these guys' schedule throughout the year and kind of seeing who they have played. It might be one of those ugly games where we're like, ugh, neither of these guys need to be here. But at the end of the day, I think that this is going to be a top-tier matchup. And, again, I think that when people have something to prove, you're going to get a lot of desperate type of action. And so I believe Oklahoma's going to squeak this out. And it's only because they'll be at home, right? I know Oklahoma got the win earlier, but I think they're going to squeak this out tomorrow night and then make it an interesting game going into that next round. But for me, this might be ugly because I'm just saying what the committee might have been looking at when they're ranking these guys and putting them in, right? And as far as all these other teams that just get their rankings already against who Oklahoma's wins are against, it's kind of like, who did Tennessee play before Oklahoma beat them by 6? Right? And they got blown out, lost by the Georgias, right? The teams that they actually played, they actually lost by huge margins. So are they as good as the rankings that they got? So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting matchup, but I do got Oklahoma in this one because I just do not believe in Alabama and that football program.
I'm going the other direction.
That program.
I'm going the other direction. I think Alabama wins this ball game.
Okay.
I've got a theory on all the teams that barely make it in or people look sideways at when they get in. There's a different chip on their shoulder when everybody goes, hey, Alabama, like, you guys still shouldn't have been there this year. You got squeezed out last year, and you didn't deserve it then. And a lot of people don't feel like Alabama deserved it this year either. And I think that this game, and I think the one that's next up after that we can talk about, is also a game that I'm going to hand it over to the people that barely got into the playoff. And G5 teams excluded because they didn't barely get in. They got in because of the way the system is. But the ones that were the controversial at-large picks, the ones that people looked at and go, I don't know if they've done enough. Teams like Alabama, who got their doors blown off, like I said, in their conference championship game, that was okay for them, but not okay for BYU, right? It was totally different, I guess.
-3 rushing yards.
It was a bad game. So I'm going to go with Alabama. I'm actually going to say they're going to win. I'm going to say it's a 10-point win. I'm going to say it's a 10-point win.
I got a 6-point win for Oklahoma.
For Oklahoma? Okay. Let's go to the next one here, Miami at Texas A&M. Now, Miami is one of those teams that has a massive amount of talent. They snuck in. They leapfrogged Notre Dame and get into the college football playoff last minute, and they get in. I look at Texas A&M, and Texas A&M of all the teams has the softest schedule in the SEC. And I think when they play the biggest teams that they played this year, they struggled. If you think about how bad they've been really over the last couple of games, they get beat in their very last game of the season by Texas. They have to come back. They have to have a historic comeback against a bad South Carolina team. Those are your last 2 football games, and the things that kind of leave the sour taste in your mouth with Texas A&M. And I know it's down at Kyle Field down there. I'm interested to see what they do in a December game down at College Station. It's a fun thing to be able to have. But I think Miami's one of those teams that comes in, and because of how they got in, they're going to make sure that they vindicate themselves, I think, with a win. And I think they're going to get a win this weekend as well. I think Texas A&M gets upset at home by Miami this weekend.
I like that. It's a great theory. I'm actually wondering, man, I really got to do some research in why all these SEC teams schedule these junior college teams at week 11.
Yeah, in November.
I'm just looking, who plays Samford on November 22nd?
Was that Georgia who did
that?
No,
it's Texas A&M, and 48-0. And so again, and they're just not ramped up and ready for the Texas.
Yeah,
matchup.
Forgive me for not talking about the Samford matchup after the South Carolina one. By the way, sorry about that.
I'm just trying to totally understand. But as you said, them coming back, they were down 31-0 at halftime to South Carolina, and then making that happen. But yeah, I agree with you. I think that Miami's going to come in here and make a note and beat these guys. I think that missing out on the ACC championship game and letting Duke take that over, they kind of want to make sure that they're not a fluke going in. And what you felt about Alabama, I kind of feel about Miami going into this. I do think that they have talent, but I do think that Texas A&M is suspect. And they've had a pretty cake schedule this whole year. To me, their biggest win came against LSU, which we found out with Brian Kelly, they're not that type of team.
Yeah,
so,
right.
Outside of that, I don't think Texas A&M has played anybody.
Pretty soft. They avoided all the big names. I mean, and they'll tell you,
and that's probably why they weren't in the SEC championship. How do you have one loss and you're not in the SEC
for
championship?
that? Because the head-to-head, they didn't have the other tiebreakers with anybody else because they didn't play anybody else.
Right.
So I think Miami ends up beating Texas A&M down there at Kyle Field. Now this is the one this is the matchup I'm most disappointed in. That the roll of the dice got us this one. Tulane going to Ole Miss.
And here's where Saban's topic we were talking about yesterday comes into play here.
Whether or not Tulane – I mean, look, the G5s getting to where they got, I love it. I mean, because there is a part of me that goes, great, I want to see – and I do like the Jake Retzlaff, angle to it. I want to see what he can do. Can he show up in a big moment? Here's the problem. Ole Miss absolutely housed Tulane this year in Oxford, and they host them again at Oxford, and it's not and it's not going to be any different. By the way, the last 15 matchups between these two teams, Ole Miss is 15-0, and so what are we doing here? I don't think you're going to see they're going to Oxford. I don't think you're going to suddenly see Tulane show up with guys that are way more talented than you saw the first time around. You're not. And I think that the only thing that they have going for them is that Lane Kiffin isn't there, and I think that actually adds fuel to the fire for that Mississippi team. Who's looking at this thing and going, oh yeah, for sure, this is going to be we're going to be able to roll through Ole Miss because they don't have Lane Kiffin and they're struggling, and that team's got something to prove. So the chip on their shoulder is they got dogged by their coach, I think, to an extent. A bunch of guys in that locker room go, he made up that narrative of what it's going to look like. Oh, he made up that narrative. Oh, I talked to the team. I asked him, hey, man, can I coach you guys? And they were hoping that I could coach him. And all the players like, you never told us that, and we never said that. So I think that they feel a little bit –
It's a liar.
Yeah, they're jilted. And I want to see. I want to see what that's going to turn into.
I think there's going to be a lot of disarray, and this is where a head coach comes into play. Is when things don't go your way and adversity hits. Who is your centerpiece foundation? Right, you're supposed to be your head coach, be able to bring guys in, rile them in, and make sure that nothing goes outside of the box. And I think that's where things could go wrong. Jake Retzlaff hits him for a touchdown on the first couple drives, and guys are going to start looking at each other. Maybe we're not as good as we like, and there's nobody to keep that unit together. So I actually have this going to be a closer matchup. I think Ole Miss squeaks it out, but I think it's going to be a kind of scary matchup where Ole Miss is going to be like panicking, like, oh, we're almost going to lose.
Oh,
this.
if they get even a little bit, if they make it close. And it's the second half, that like some teams, if they're a really, really good team, they start to get out of sorts.
Yeah.
They start to turn into the L.A. Rams last night. I was waiting for Napolis to make. I didn't know when to drop that reference in yet, but Napolis and I weren't even texting words last night, just all gestures in the emojis after that game. So okay, final one on this before we get to the break here. Oregon hosting James Madison. I know nothing about JMU except for that they're the Dukes, and I know that they're going to come out.
Where's the coach coaching now? He went to UCLA. Is that the job he took?
I think is he still coaching for them? I don't even know.
Yeah, he's coaching.
So he'll coach the bowl game.
The bowl game.
I mean, they're 21-point dogs. That's a problem for the college football playoff for an image thing, right?
Exactly what you wanted, a blowout. I think that game is going to be a blowout.
Okay. So I do want some blowouts and people going, why are we doing this? I want the questions to be asked as to why we are still doing these games between the G5s and the big opponents in the first round and leaving better talent to play in the Pop-Tarts Bowl or in the Las Vegas Bowl. It's just hard. It's hard to watch. All right. We'll come right back. We have more to go from the road home here in Midvale. It's all brought to you, also made possible by Performance Automotive up in Bountiful. So let's make sure and honor our sponsors for all this too, because we couldn't do this without all of our folks as well. So stay here. More to go. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
What time is it?
Your exclusive home of Utah Jazz basketball is right here on 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
He's going to have to shoot the three over the top. He hits it. LeBron runs into him. Keontae goes down. Three-point play for Keontae. He's going to get a fourth with the free throw line. Rebound comes to Smart. Long outlet. Hashimura Phipps, the only guy back. LeBron to the rack, and he packed it. Luka trailing from the logo and buries it. And Luka's got 44. LeBron bumping and backing. Bailey sneaks behind. Bailey with a steal. Bailey to the rim. Bailey with a dunk. Ace is wild.
You're locked into JJ and Alex on 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome on in, everybody. Thanks for being with us on the program. You know what that music means. Of course, talking some NBA, talking the Utah Jazz. Before we get into it, want to make sure you know where we are today. It's a big one for us, and we hope that you can show up for us as well on this one. We're at the road home for the annual Holiday Mediathon. What does that mean? We're asking for your donations, and this hour it is tripled by the folks at the Huntsman Family Foundation and Blueprint Public Affairs. So great time to make your money go even further than any other time. So let me get that phone number out, 801-819-7300. That's 801-819-7300, and your dollars go right to being able to accommodate the thousands of families and individuals who find themselves homeless and no place to sleep from night to night. And this, of course, is a time of year where we've got to reach into those pockets and say, man, we've been blessed. And there are people who do not have as much as we do, as much as make that commitment and say, I want to show up for those people. It's a good thing for us to be able to do, Sly. So we appreciate people dipping in there and donating. We know it's not easy. 801-819-7300. That's 801-819-7300. So we had a family event. And so I was like, oh, and I'm monitoring the game last night. And then I get home and watch the full highlights. And obviously the big story is Luka Doncic's historic. I mean, that line is maybe – well, first of all, it looks like a Nikola Jokic line. That's what I think is that's what I think is really cool about what he's doing, because having a triple-double – with 40 points, he's tied with the most in for an NBA player in their career for a 40, 10 and 10 triple double. So 40 points, a 40-point triple double. He is tied all time in that number. It was an insane thing to watch. I am watching no one play defense in the NBA, I feel like, anymore.
Oh, no.
We talked about it yesterday. It was like the Jazz are absolutely – they're
scoring 119 a game, right?
Yes.
But they're also giving up 126.
Yeah. We're watching these games happen on a nightly basis now where they're able to get to 135.
41-point fourth quarter.
This is a regulation. This is in regulation 143, 135. It was unheard of, years ago. But now it's kind of an every other night situation for the Jazz. But of course, LeBron showing up with 28 also.
Right.
Austin Reeves was out, and I think that was probably a good thing for the Jazz to be able to kind of at least stay the bleeding on that. But LeBron showed up and goes, I can drop 28 pretty much any game I want to if you let me. And the Jazz kind of let him.
Or if the team needs that.
Yeah, it's actually really phenomenal. And if you watch like a supercut of like all the highlights, obviously they're mostly Luka and LeBron. They love pumping the Lakers, but Keontae George, another big night for him. 34 points on a night that he doesn't have Lowry next to him on the court. Mm-hmm. It was a big one in that sense, Sly, but I love watching. These are the games that I like during this season where you know that winning is not the only thing with this team, and they showed some fight. They've already lost, 2 or 3 times to the Lakers already this year. They only have maybe 1 or 2 games with them left, but it's a nightly basis thing where you're watching Keontae George become a superstar. I dare say that this guy, I'm shocked that he's playing. I really am. I'm shocked that he is already playing to that all-star level. And that's not superlative. That's not hyperbole. The numbers that he's putting up put people in the all-star game. When you're at Utah, though, you have to be 30% better than everybody else. Yeah. And so whatever your numbers are, you got to pump them up.
There's got to be winning attached to that, too. There's got to be other stuff, not just stats.
I'm sure Keontae wants to be he wants to be an all-star. Great. But it's a little bit hollow if, the team is down in the standings. Yeah. It's something great to build on. It's an awesome thing for the young kids. Look, Keontae George is going to be a superstar in this league. At least Will Hardy, the head coach of the Jazz, said as much after the game. He loves what he's seen out of Key, and it's not a surprise to him because he sees him do it every day.
Yeah, I think it's time that everybody stops trying to give reasons why Keontae's playing well. Oh, well, he's only playing well because Lowry helps him so much. And, he's only playing well because of this. And, no, he's pretty good. And I think it's time that everybody gives him some respect. And the way he carries himself, the way he works every day, the way he takes coaching, the way he interacts with his teammates, the way he's helping Ace. Believe me, there's nobody who's going to be harder on Key than me. But he's pretty freaking good.
I love Hardy.
You know what's funny is
he keeps it real, though.
Okay, but
listen, that's why you gotta like a guy.
From
like
a coaching standpoint,
yeah,
he's kind of the Keontae George of the league right now, where it's just like Will Hardy is a phenomenal coach. He's able to extract the best out of these guys, and you might look at him and go, he's young, he's got a long way to go. He's becoming a great coach in this league. He is young still. He has a lot probably that he looks at and says, I got to learn.
You definitely have to use that.
I'm just saying that
he's a great coach yet.
No. I think that he's turning that corner. I think it's similar path from a coaching perspective that Keontae George is, which is hey.
And that's why that trajectory is good. They both can grow together. Yeah.
You're watching these guys grow up, including Will Hardy, together on this team. I think that, look, it makes his job, I'm not going to say easier. What it does is when a coach is able to rely on consistently night in and night out on a guy like Key to be able to bring you the numbers that he's been bringing, it's been so consistent. It's been so good every night. His turnover rate, his assist to turnover ratio has just been, it's gone. You know what I mean? Like it was such a disaster the last couple of years, and he's become something totally different before our eyes here. And I'm loving the development of it. I'm loving to see this thing go. But also on a night where there's no Lowry, you had guys showing up on the stat sheet that had really, really good nights, and they're asking these dudes to show up. Did Ace end up with 19? Is that what he ended up with on the night?
19 and 4.
Great night for him. And to be able to play against the Lakers at home, put up 19 as a rookie, that's got to be a dream scenario for him, and it's just another stepping stone to keep getting better.
Well, yeah. I mean, Ace is getting so much experience, right? They played the Lakers 3 times, and the Lakers' offense is absolutely top tier, right? Some of the best we've ever seen in this game, but their defense is atrocious. So for Ace Bailey, able to get experience like that here the first part of the season, you're going to see Ace Bailey grow up before or quicker than you're expecting. I think by the end of the season, Ace Bailey is going to be averaging 23 and 5. And
he's already there. He's already there right now.
Right.
I think he could even go up.
But consistently every single game, and you're going to see him play with ultimate confidence. He's able to get premier experience by seeing guys firsthand. Now he's in the starting lineup, seeing these guys firsthand. This is how I need to operate. This is at all-star level, and I think that he's going to become that guy. Again, we said this during the draft. You go for Ace Bailey. I think Ace Bailey is the guy. Yeah. That's going to transcend this Utah Jazz program or organization, and him and Keontae next to each other, and you get Lowry healthy. They got guys over here that can get some stuff. Young guys that's going to make a new push for Utah Jazz, and it's going to be a great future for these guys.
So Key having the night that he did, being able to kind of do it on his own, like Will Hardy said, is like, hey, look, everybody's saying, oh, look, he's only good because he's got this unicorn of a player next to him who's an elite player. He's all-star caliber type player. He's really, really good. He's a freak, and everybody's got to take – you got to really watch that guy when he's on the court. For Key to put up 34 – I mean, look, the Lakers haven't played great defense all year, but and we're obviously talking about the Jazz on a night where Luka Doncic, if you watch it, he takes over games and is so easily he does it so easily. It just seems like it's light work for him. Right. And maybe it's because he had that new baby. He and his fiance just had another girl. So congrats to the Doncic's. The Doncic's. So yeah, I mean, look, whatever his motivation is. If it's always just going out there and trying to prove the Mavericks wrong or whatever.
He's so close every single year, and then here comes
Jokic. Yeah.
Just making some stuff. And
hard time to be really, really good in the NBA and never be able to win the All-Star.
Gosh, right?
Or never be able to win the MVP.
Hopefully he can play a little defense, and they can add that to his resume.
Yeah.
But I think that this is great for Keontae. Because for me, I look at that, and this is how I was as a competitor. If I can see how to operate, how to take over games, how to be great, then I can do it. It's exactly what Kobe was doing with Michael Jordan, right? He's like, I know Michael's great. This is where he uses this move. You saw the All-Star game where Kobe's asking Mike, when you go into the post, what are you feeling? What are you doing? And this and that. I think Keontae's being able to learn from other guys. I'd be able to learn from my competitors on how they take over games and implement that into my game. You're going to get a solid All-Star in Keontae George.
Yeah, Tim Lacombe, what did he say yesterday when he was on with us? He's like, look, there's a handful of guys in the league that just have the ball on a string to a level that's different. Mm-hmm. He's one of those guys.
Yeah.
And what's funny is that, and then we're mentioning, probably the second best player in NBA history on the floor next to him. Like, it's wild. It's wild when Luka is the guy when LeBron is on the court. It's kind of crazy to see. So we're going to take a break. We are here at the Road Home in Midvale. It's our holiday media-thon. We do it every year. We're opening up those phone lines. Your dollars this hour are tripled thanks to the Huntsman Family Foundation and Blueprint Public Affairs. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you that number, and I want you to just make that donation happen. Show them that the KSL Sports Zone listeners are the most generous. We really do have such great listeners, and we couldn't do it without you. 801-819-7300. That's 801-819-7300. Or go to theroadhome.org/donate. We'll come right back. It's all brought to you by the good folks at Performance Automotive in Bountiful. We're going to be here the rest of the show here. Join us. Hang out. We've got a Would You Rather next. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Listen, everybody. Real-life hypotheticals to get your brain churning. As JJ and Alex ask, would you rather?
JJ and Alex, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. Alex Kirry. Sly sitting in for JJ. His loss, because we're at the Road Home today for our holiday media-thon. Every radio station that matters in this market, in this room, all fighting together for the opportunity to make sure that you know that you can donate to the folks at the Road Home. And this time of year, I'll just tell you, your donation, and you make a generous donation, those donations go, and they go all year long. And really, it's not just the holidays. It's not just in the cold. But when they're battling homelessness, when these families and individuals are battling homelessness on the streets, it's a thing that year-round, the Road Home is here, and they are responding, and they're helping people across this entire market. Let me just tell you right now, they're tripling the dollars thanks to the Huntsman Family Foundation and Blueprint Public Affairs. This hour, 801-819-7300. That's 801-839-7300. Sly, I've got one Would You Rather for you. Would you rather be witness this weekend in the
JMU playoffs?
In the JMU playoffs. This is where I'm going. You're at Autzen and you see a historic upset, or you watch just an absolute barn burner of a game between Alabama and Oklahoma. Two just like phenomenal talents going at one another. It goes to overtime. The extra point doesn't get made. So an upset win for JMU or a phenomenal football game?
Phenomenal football game in Norman, Oklahoma.
Okay. Why do you hate the little guy so much? I told people this. I'm like, he doesn't like the little guy.
What do you mean the little guy? I was the little guy. What are you talking about? I am that.
That's what I'm saying. Why don't you give a little respect to the purple and gold of the Dukes of JMU?
Nah.
I just learned that mascot, by the way.
Yeah, there you go. No, I'm good. I'd rather see that Oklahoma and Alabama matchup.
I think being at Autzen
Here's
and
the
having that
thing.
place go quiet, which you've been a part of before,
yeah, of course.
having that place go dead quiet and watching a 12 seed march into the quarterfinals, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, but we always think that like Oregon in the top tier Big Ten
Right.
or something else anyway. But like for me, it's more nostalgia reasons and understanding Norman and Oklahoma is more of a storyline that could potentially be great rivalry matchups in the future that I could see, right? We could see them schedule Oklahoma and Alabama next year, and there's going to be some get back, or the year after that, they're in the same conference. Now, JMU and Oregon, we're never going to really see that again. Right? And
Right.
It's kind of like, oh, Utah plays Alabama. You're not going to really see that again. And so, I don't think JMU is going to ever transcend to a G4 or
A Power Four, or
a
whatever.
Power 4
Yeah.
conference. And so it's just I'd rather see that Alabama-Oklahoma.
I think I don't know it, but just I was thinking about this. I'm going, I wonder if BYU fans, I think they want to see Jake Retzlaff do well. I mean, Tulane is going up against a buzzsaw.
BYU fans definitely do. They were
think-
like, yeah, he learned that from here.
Well, but also I don't think there were like hard feelings on how
Well, no.
he
no.
went away,
Yeah,
and so
yeah.
I think that watching number 12 this weekend
Good
for
BYU
the
fans
Tulane
would want
Green
his
Wave.
success. Yeah.
It would have been awesome if BYU and Tulane were in, and you just go, yeah, whatever quarterback you plug in at BYU, they'll just show up in the playoffs. Like, take this true freshman, it's fine. It would have been fun to see them match up against one another too. That would have been here in Provo. Jake Retzlaff wearing a different jersey.
Oh my
a
gosh.
year after it happened
against Bear. Oh,
Don't
yeah.
think that we weren't having like a little. It was Utah versus
Wishful
BYU first. That was our wish list for the college football playoff. When that didn't solidify, that didn't happen. Then you're kind of going, all right, maybe Tulane and BYU. It would have been awesome. All right, when we come back, we've got more to go around the corner. Sly, we've got to talk Georgia Tech and BYU in the Pop-Tarts Bowl. We're going to have a guest join us and talk exactly that. They cover the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, and of course, being able to go through and have this conversation about what Georgia Tech is going to bring. Kelly Quinlan is going to join us from Jackets Online. It's a Rivals and On3 property, so we'll get what they think about it, and we're going to make sure and bring it right to you. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. It's all brought to you today by the folks at Performance Automotive in Bountiful. Right back here. Stay with us at the road home today. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Accessing.
When TV and radio collide.
Love it.
This is what you get. You're listening to JJ and Alex.
Don't touch that dial.
On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Ah, yes. Paul McCartney. They're like, hey, you're in the Beatles. Will you write a Christmas song? We can just print money with it later. And that's what they did. One of the most annoying songs in the history of Christmas, and yet Sir Paul McCartney lives on as a legend. Well, okay, Napolis, defend this song. It's terrible. Gosh.
Don't kill his holiday joy, Alex.
Yeah, so is Wham's Last Christmas. But technically it is a fun song.
You'll take the Beatles or you take Mariah Carey?
Yeah. Mariah Carey, 100%. When I worked at Champ Sports in the mall in the late 90s,
Yeah.
we used to have to put we had to put the VHS tape in the VCR in the back, and it would play on the TVs up in the front, right? And for Christmas, we had the ones, we had like, they were running basically music videos of, whatever Champ's corporate put together. And Mariah Carey's song kind of just had come out maybe two years before that. And my buddies and I, one of the guys would just hang out in the back, and he would press rewind, and we would just watch that video over and over again for that Mariah Carey song. It was awesome. Remember the VCR?
Oh, I remember
Could
the
you
VCR?
operate a VCR? I don't know if a lot of our techs here could operate a VCR if it was put in front of them. Oh, sorry, Brant could.
Yeah,
these guys.
These
Be
guys
Kind.
are-
These guys are.
Be Kind Rewind?
Be Kind Rewind. That's those guys, dude.
These guys look like Blockbuster
But I
tapes.
remember he's like, you push the thing down, and you hear that signature noise that it's eating the tape. You're like, no.
Oh, I've
It's
done
terrible.
That.
Yeah.
That was
All right.
my Ace Ventura tape. I remember that.
I'm trying to wrap my brain around the Pop-Tart Bowl and get excited about it. I wonder what the level of excitement is going to be for this Georgia Tech team, for this BYU team. It's always a crapshoot when it comes to it because, and I'm not trying to question whether or not these guys want to play in this game. I'm not trying to question, their preparation. I'm not trying to question whether or not they take things seriously or they take their opponents seriously. But I think that there is a little bit of hey, this is a different bowl than we probably should have been playing in, or a different game than we probably should have been playing in. Even if that's not the case, even if you just feel a little bit slighted if you're BYU. And Georgia Tech, who was on that trajectory all season long, and they had a rough 3 out of their last 4 games. And I like this Georgia Tech team. I like Haynes King. I think that guy has been maybe the best quarterback in Georgia Tech history because he's able to do more than just be a runner, although he is the leading rusher on the Georgia Tech team. And I just wonder if you get ready for the Pop-Tarts Bowl and you play your butt off, a guy like him, he's trying to figure out a place for himself in the league. He's going to go play in the East-West Shrine game. I don't know if there is a place for him in the league, but as you watch these teams prepare for this, prepping for the Pop-Tart Bowl, is BYU 100% in it in their head? Should they? I know they should be, but it's one thing to say it, it's another to try to be it.
I mean, it's Pop-Tarts going to be on the mind, right? I mean, I love Pop-Tarts just as much as the next person.
Is this the premier bowl that's not a
It's got to be fun, right?
Yeah.
There's bowl games that are just like, this is the funnest one to be at, and I think the presentation that the Pop-Tarts Bowl puts on makes it amazing. I don't imagine what's going on throughout the week, but just the game time presentation is absolutely terrific.
During the week, it's just as good. I think that it's marketing genius by these guys.
Yes.
The trophy with a working toaster is maybe the coolest thing I've ever seen. I mean, but that's the kind of stuff. I was just wondering if this has to be one of the premier bowls.
Trophy room.
Not just the bowl itself that features two. It's because the two opponents both ranked, both kind of a chip on their shoulder for what happened during the season, and I think it's a big deal to be able to.
Yeah, for my thing is, I think Georgia Tech is definitely into this, right? I mean, if they go, what did they go last year? They went 7-6 last year in ordered rings. Remember the ring ceremony from last year?
Oh, I love it.
They went 5-0 at home, but
it was the undefeated at home ring.
And they got rings.
It's ringing a bell
and now they have a 9-3 season. I think that they're excited and they're anxious to be here. It's not far from home, so a lot of families going to be able to go to this game, and so it'll be just like a backyard home game for them. And so
I think Brent Key is. I mean, there are a lot of similarities. Kalani playing for his alma mater, Brent Key playing for his alma, and just tough nosed, guys who are no nonsense and. I love that matchup.
I think this is going to be a game of who has the better younger guys.
This portion of the show brought to you by Doug Smith Dealerships in American Fork, Spanish Fork, and in Linden. Nobody knows cars like Doug. Let's jump into the cut right here, top of the 4 o'clock hour. Let's do it.
It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Kelly Quinlan covers Georgia Tech, and it's been an awesome year for the Yellow Jackets, and Jackets Online with Rivals and On 3. And, Kelly, it's been a fun one for us to watch from a distance. I watched a couple of Tech's games this year, and Haynes King is no joke. He's about as good of an athlete you can have under center. Welcome to the program.
Hey, thanks, guys, for having me.
When you watch what Haynes King has done at quarterback, where does he kind of sit in the pantheon of good quarterbacks in the history of Georgia Tech?
He's probably in the top 4 or 5 of the modern era of college football. Joe Hamilton, who is Brent Key's quarterback, actually. You talked about him playing at Tech earlier. Justin Thomas, who was the guy that took them to the Orange Bowl. Josh Nesbitt, who won an ACC championship, took them to an Orange Bowl. Sean Jones, who won a national championship in '90. Those are sort of the other guys that are in that conversation, I think, right now. And Haynes had a chance here. They just didn't play well in November at times and kind of cost themselves a playoff spot, not dissimilar to BYU, where they ran into a couple of tough games here at the wrong time and didn't make the playoffs. But as you guys were talking about, I do think this is the premier non-playoff game, basically, for everyone to watch in college football this year with these two teams who would probably be in a 16-team playoff or be real close to it.
Yeah, what are you kind of expecting out of the team? What has been kind of the atmosphere around the team of getting into this bowl game? I know Alex and I were just mentioning the success of last year, and now you jump that up to a 9-3 season this year, as you said, not so great November. But what has the team's kind of motivation and energy been around getting ready for this bowl game?
I think everybody's frustrated. They had kind of everything right in the palm of their hand there and just didn't get it done in a couple of games. And all the losses were real close. You know, Buster Faulkner, the offensive coordinator, left to go to Florida. Your backup quarterback goes in the portal, who was supposed to be the starter next year. So that's been a little funky. But, you know, I think everybody's just kind of focused on trying to win the 10th game, get Haynes King that last win. He was the ACC Player of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year, and All-Around Player of the Year. So, like, there's a lot riding on this. Haynes kind of his warrior mentality, I think, is rubbed off on a lot of the team and the fan base too. And they love, like, how tough he is. And, you know, at the end of the day, it's a tough matchup. That's going to be what's interesting about this game and a fun matchup too. I think it's going to be very different than the last couple times BYU played Georgia Tech when they were running the option with Paul Johnson.
It's interesting, yeah. And I was covering that team back when Bronco Mendenhall was the head coach, and like he had just a knack of trying to getting after. He had a knack for kind of covering up that type of an offense. But I think things have changed a little bit. They have added enough wrinkles that, you know, the tough-nosed stuff. But Brent Key knows what Georgia Tech football is, of course. But what is it like having him at the helm? What kind of a team kind of identity, even with the stuff that goes up and down? If you have a culture and an identity, that culture and identity stays even if an offensive coordinator leaves and some big players go to the transfer portal. What has he meant to coming back and coaching his alma mater?
You know, the thing with Brent is he's an offensive lineman. He was, you know, a 4-year starter here, and he brings that mentality. There are 14 offensive linemen on the staff right now, something like that, in various capacity roles. Like it comes from the top down, and from the strength coaches all the way to people who work as analysts or in the office. Like, they believe in his vision for this program and what it can be, and he's done a great job of selling it. They've done a great job of embracing it. They've had really good crowds at the back end of the season, great environments. And the big thing is he's gotten people to invest money, too. They have one of the stronger collective groups in the ACC and probably in the top 20 in college football now. And that's a credit to Brent Key and what he's done and kind of developing that and trying to bring Georgia Tech to being back to a top 25 program perennially. And this was the first step towards it. This isn't the end goal, but you know, trying to get that 10th win, making sure you stay in the top 25, all that stuff I think is really important to him. And, you know, I'm sure with BYU, like, you know, not getting in the playoffs and your 2 losses being what they are, I think that's going to play big into this as well. I think they're going to be fired up as well.
Yeah, Kalani Sitake gets his guys, I think, revved up for games. Even if there is disappointment to end the season, you know, they look at it like, hey, they're having a pretty historic run, a couple of seasons in a row of winning 11 games, and that type of performance in the Big 12 is not something that happens every year, but they've done it the last 2. What is the attitude about BYU as an opponent? Georgia Tech, of course, comes in. They're ranked 22nd. BYU's 12th. But you see the Cougars across on that paper. Were they pumped to be able to play that game, or what's the attitude surrounding playing the Cougs?
Yeah, it depends on who you ask. I think some fans were maybe hoping for Missouri because I think a lot of people kind of scoped out what was going to happen there. Their quarterback was going to leave. Originally, Georgia Tech was supposed to go to the Gator Bowl, and Notre Dame was going to play BYU in the Pop-Tarts Bowl. That was once the playoff seedings got out. And so from that point on, it was, you know, I think people are excited. I think they're a little more nervous about this game than they would have been playing Missouri, just because I think they see BYU as being a really tough opponent. Obviously, quarterback Bear's a heck of an athlete, and people are very excited to kind of see how this team measured up. And, you know, the big thing, too, is the last 2 times they played, BYU just really kind of physically dominated Georgia Tech the line of scrimmage. I feel like this would be a much better kind of litmus test to see how much they've improved on that front in terms of being able to more physically match up with what BYU is doing with a totally different offense and a different coaching staff now at Georgia Tech.
What has the last few years been as far as this program's transcending into this new upper echelon of being dominant in the ACC and now vying for college football playoff positions? Where is this program going? What have they all experienced from the years after Paul Johnson and now changing here to Brent Key, and where do they expect this program to go even after Haynes Kings leaves?
So they had Jeff Collins. He was the king of the hashtags, and the students towards the end started calling it the hashtag, Adidas's three-stripe life.
Oh,
they started calling it the hashtag 3-win life because they won 3 games 3 years in a row with Jeff. And, and it was a program that had been to a bowl game, I think it was 24 out of 25 years or something like that. So this is much more along the lines of expectations. I think they're still kind of getting where they need to get to. Obviously, every year they play Georgia. That's a juggernaut that they have to deal with. But I think in the ACC, they're as good as anybody right now in the league. And maybe it says more about the ACC than anything else at the moment. But they're getting to where they need to get to. And it's getting back to where it was when I first started covering the program 15, 16 years ago when they were in the hunt every year. And I think that's the expectation. They're not expecting the team to be, turn into Ohio State or something, but I think the expectations are that they should be a proud program that can win 10 games, 9 games a year. And, I think they're starting to get there with Brent, and Brent's vision for it is much more akin to Ohio State. He thinks he can get the program to that level, turn down jobs at Florida, Auburn, and other places this offseason to stay at Georgia Tech. So, I think that they're still kind of getting the program together. It's not quite there yet, but I think they're making steps in the right direction. And this game's a big opportunity to maybe further move that along, that narrative of their growth if they can win or play a good game at least.
You cover a lot of ACC, obviously, and the bickering back and forth that happened after everything with Notre Dame. And then I think you guys deal with a lot of what we covering the Big 12 have to deal with, which is just kind of this cast-aside moment. Everybody gets cast aside for the Big 10 and the SEC. How is the ACC handling it, do you think, and what's like the next move to be able to figure out how they can move forward and get taken seriously? Because I know that's something that Brett Yormark of the Big 12 is trying to figure out too. The ACC just is like this. It feels very similar to the Big 12 in terms of how people look at it and getting tossed aside for the big guys.
I think what you have to do is win, and you've got to win in these playoff games, and that changes the narrative of things. Texas Tech has a great opportunity right now. Miami has an opportunity. Go in there, win some games, upset some of these teams, the SEC, Big Ten teams. And once you do that and start to get that momentum going, I think it can quell some of the narrative. A lot of it's driven by ESPN and the media people and stuff as well. But, is Ole Miss a better team than BYU? That's an interesting question, right? And that's where if the Big 12, BYU, Georgia Tech, the ACC, those teams start winning these games and these crossover opportunities or in the playoffs, that can change that narrative quite a bit, because I think that's what's killing everybody right now. If you look at it, what is it? Colorado, Georgia Tech, and BYU, I think, have the only national championships outside of those two conferences over the last, 40-something years. That's not great either. So there's work to be done. I'm leaving out Clemson and Florida State, but and Miami, but just talking about just the brands in college football, and I think that's going to be something that has to be addressed on the football field. You got to win some of these games now. Georgia Tech has to beat Georgia. You can't just beat up on each other. Georgia Tech beating Colorado, they don't get credit for, right? Yeah. If BYU beats Georgia Tech in this bowl game, that's not necessarily going to give them some sort of street cred in these things. I think it's Texas Tech's got to handle their business. Miami's got to handle their business in the playoffs. And if you start to have that happen, that changes that narrative, in my opinion.
What's the vibe around Jim Phillips, the commissioner of the ACC, and what he's doing to make sure that they are on the map, so to speak? And what will the relationship of Notre Dame, do you think, look like in the future with the ACC?
I think Notre Dame's stuck because no one else is going to make that deal with them that matters. And everyone going to 9-game schedule makes it that much harder. Like, they want to crow that they can do X, Y, or Z, but the reality is no one's going to schedule them in November. Who are you going to play, UMass and UConn? Like, that's what you're going to get, a bunch of games like that in November if you don't have the scheduling agreement. So they're trapped. They want their independence. This is the only way it's going to work. So they got to calm down, and it made them look terrible to do that and act like that. And at some point, they may have to join a conference. You know, it's a tough decision. Obviously, BYU went through all of that many years ago. Like, you have to make those decisions at some point. Georgia Tech was an independent at one point. Like, people have to do what's in their best interest. I think it'll be interesting to see what happens in Notre Dame if they continue to have scheduling problems or get left out of the playoffs. Like, what does that look like? So I think they need the ACC more than they realize, and I think that's starting to come to light because the reality is they're closer to the ACC or the Big Ten than, say, if they had to try to make the same kind of agreement with the Big 12. That just, their fans wouldn't stand for it because they wouldn't want to go on such long road trips and things like that.
Yeah, man, I agree. One, you got to win for both the ACC and the Big 12 in Tech in Miami. And then at Notre Dame, man, they did look like little temper tantrum kids, especially AD. He's not right during Christmas. He's on the naughty list. But who else, before this game kicks off here next weekend, who else should we be looking out for as far as BYU fans and others watching on this football team, from Eric Rivers at the receivers to Kyle Eifert on defense? Who are some of these other guys we need to look out for and why?
The big playmakers on offense, aside from those guys you mentioned, Malachi Hosley, the running back, he's been really good for them. He was banged up in the back end of the season. That kind of hurt him. I think he's getting healthy now. Isaiah Canyon's a big play wide receiver. Malik Rutherford in the slots, a big play guy for them. And then on the defensive side, Jordan Vandenberg has been excellent for them, the defensive tackle. They've been very rough on defense. October, November were really rough for them. They got together in the Georgia game. Amari Harvey at corner is really good. They have some nice pieces. One of their best defensive players, Jai Gilmore, is out for the year. He got hurt in Boston College, maybe. I forget what game it was, but he's out for the season now. So they've taken some shots. They've had a lot of guys injured on the defensive side of the ball, and that's impacted that, particularly the loss at NC State. They were down like 5 guys in their main rotation on defense, and 4 of them were starters in that game.
Kelly Quinlan covers Georgia Tech with Jackets Online, part of Rivals and On 3. Kelly, thanks for the breakdown, man. We're looking forward to the Pop-Tarts Bowl next week, and it should be a fun one. Thanks for hanging out with us, man.
Thank you.
There you go. It's a fascinating matchup. I just want to know who's going to actually, if they care to be there. You'll be able to tell.
You could definitely tell,
yeah.
and I agree with them. I mean, it's like nobody's going to get real street cred whether they win here or not.
That's a bummer.
That was a very accurate statement.
It is true. It's 100% true. Yeah. Like, if it's not a college football playoff matchup, people kind of go, yeah, all right, well, then who'd you beat? Okay.
Good for you.
I forgot who you guys beat in the Pop-Tart Bowl. Who was it? Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Right.
We'll take another break. It's all brought to you by the folks at Performance Automotive in Bountiful. That's Performance Automotive in Bountiful. We'll come right back. We got more to go. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
All the latest news and notes from the league and the locals in the NFL. JJ and Alex bring you the NFL Blitz on 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back, everybody. JJ and Alex, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone, on the road today at the Road Home, the Connie Crosby Family Resource Center right here in Midvale. One of the great pieces in our community of not just charitable giving, but the volunteer work that comes that shows up for this type of stuff, and of course the donations that are made to help the Road Home this time of year with our holiday mediathon. All the radio stations get into this one tent, and we all ask you for the same thing, and that is to help the people who are in need this time of year and all year long by giving them a call, 801-819-7300. That's 801-819-7300. Make that donation. It's going to get matched all hour long by the folks at the Huntsman Family Foundation. Hey, also want to remind you, speaking of people who need kudos, nominate the Youth Sports Volunteer for the Hercules Hero of the Week Award. All you have to do is go to KSLSports.com/contest and get yourself a nomination into the box there, and every Thursday we choose one of those winners, and we're able to celebrate the efforts of those people who do an awesome job in their community. So there you go. You just go to KSLSports.com/contest. It's all brought to you by Hercules First Federal Credit Union and Beehive Meals, both of whom are sponsors of the program. Well, the inevitable happened, Annapolis. We have to talk about it. So I'm going to make you throw your headset on, and I'm going to make you participate in this NFL Blitz. Initial thoughts. I just want to get the raw Rams fan thoughts after last night's blowout loss to the Seahawks.
MVP.
Oh, you know.
Said blowout.
No, I'm making you do it. You got to talk about this. Where were you guys at? Where was your head at on this one? What went wrong? And if you just lean on the referee stuff and go full Puka Nacua on us, I don't think that's just it. There was a lot of bad defense being played by the Rams in the second half too, man.
You know, I think that there was probably a little bit of a sense of maybe we have this one in the bag after they were up by. Oh, what was the score, man? I can't remember.
30-15.
It was 30-15. 30-15. They probably think it's in the bag, and then from there, things just kind of fall apart.
Well, what was the part? What was the part where the entire Seahawks team gets lit up with excitement? It's that Rashid Shaheed punt return that almost looked like. I mean, I'm going to be honest. It didn't look like the Rams' punt coverage team was trying at all on that. Well, number one, that's what Rashid Shaheed does to people. He makes them look foolish because of how fast he is. But that lit him up. I mean, that entire thing, that type of a play, Sly, can absolutely ignite a sideline. That return punt by Rashid Shaheed, it made the total difference because after that, then they go, oh, and they get the 2-point conversion, and then they go, oh, we're one score away on this. And then suddenly the defense starts making stops that they never made all night. I just think that one play was so big by Rashid Shaheed, and I love that play lit up that sideline. And I'll tell you, too, the NFC West. Now, Annapolis, you and I can jam on this together, though, because the 49ers fans who came out of the woodwork and go, thank you, Seahawks. Now all we have to do is win our last 3 games, and we're going to be the number 1 seed in the NFC playoffs. I think we can all get together and hate on it.
Special teams is so important on so many things for that one thing right there, that inflection points. And we know how electrifying Rashid Shaheed is, and why I think he was such a valuable free agent before the trade deadline, right?
Can you believe they picked him up?
Oh, it's great. Anybody who's actually paying attention to what matters in football games and what could be a huge asset, which I don't even believe the Seahawks gave up a lot for him in that trade. He's just been highly productive for Seattle ever since he even got there. So he's on a playoff team and definitely looking for good production here in the postseason.
Annapolis, are you with your head coach on that 2-point conversion being a fraud?
You know, I'm not. I might be a little bit biased on this, but I was not a fan of the call. I was not a fan. They claimed that the whistles were blown. Everybody thought the play was dead. Nobody went towards the ball. Interesting decision to come back after the TV break, no less,
weird.
To come back and review everything.
I will admit it was super weird because I was like, oh, well, they got some work to do, 30-28. Okay, I'll figure it out. I come back and they're all, after review, the 2-point conversion is good. I'm like, okay, cool. All I thought to myself was, this is fun. This is a fun ball game. And honestly, to go to overtime, to have the Rams go down and score. By the way, the overtime rules are so much better now.
With both teams getting an opportunity?
Yes. The one time going down the field, and even because it used to be also if you scored
sudden death, man.
Well, you kick the field goal, it's over.
Yeah.
And then they go, no, we got to
don't win the coin toss, and somebody's like, oh.
I know. And then they go, well, if you score a touchdown, then you win. But if you only get the field goal, then the ball goes to the other team. Yeah. I'm like, that's dumb too. So when they do it to where they go, hey, you score a touchdown, the other team gets the ball, and they can at least match it. And if they do,
it's a full 15 minutes, though.
But going for 2 and getting it at the end there, I just thought that's an epic matchup. I hope what's tough about this is these two teams are probably the best in the NFC right now. Mm-hmm. Matthew Stafford should be the MVP. That guy is so good.
Right.
And
been for so long.
Puka Nacua, you said it in our group text too. Sly, you're all. Yeah, totally distracted. 225 yards, two touchdowns. Yeah, two tutties. I mean, and you know what? That second touchdown, I've never what was he walked into the end zone there. There's going to be one guy you need to cover on this thing.
You look at all the other receivers. How many catches did they have? Even targets. We didn't even go targets.
Yeah.
The one other guy had 3 catches. He had 12. Matthew Stafford wasn't throwing to nobody else but Puka Nacua. The highest guy next had 50 yards.
There was a stretch in the second and third quarter where he wasn't even targeted at all. But part of it was because they were having such success running the ball. Yeah. They were just moving it down the field at will. They didn't care, and so it was a fun game to watch. I don't know. People are calling it an instant classic. I think Rams fans would disagree, but hey, that's what makes it an instant classic.
It's only an instant classic if you win.
Listen, the Thursday night game is delivered.
Oh, for sure.
This year a couple of times, and that was the best Thursday night game. Even if Al Michaels was talking like he was asleep on some of these touchdown calls, it was still a really, really good game. Travis Kelce says he's going to play in the Chiefs' final 3 games. I don't know why you wouldn't.
Why wouldn't he? I thought this was supposed to be his last year.
But also, I don't know why you have to say it out loud. Are you going to take the time off just because your quarterback is out and you're you're out
Honestly,
of the playoffs?
He might have to say that. You know, people are all he's Swiftied all out right now. He's not focused.
I am going to play.
And so he might have to say. He shouldn't have to have said that, but I don't really know what the Chiefs message boards are like. We have to go ask Russ over here. What the Chiefs message boards are like. He's probably saying it.
No, you can't. No. He's in a dark place right now.
Oh, I know. I saw him when I came in.
You can't bring up the Chiefs around him.
He's like, hey, I'll see you outside. It won't be me, but I'll see you outside.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Chiefs fans right now.
Oh, they're hurt.
Despondent. But, it's fine. They've gone through it. TJ Watt's collapsed lung. I'm, confused on all this.
That's wild, yeah.
I don't know what the treatment is. I don't know what dry needling. First of all, if a trainer came up to me and said, we've got a new thing that we're trying, it's called dry needling. Now, your lung may collapse.
They've been doing dry needling for a while.
I just don't know what it is. What is dry needling? I don't get it. And how did his lung collapse? And by the way, why is this practice still used now if one of the players ends up? And he said, I'm not afraid of the dry needling. It helps me a ton with the pain and blah, blah, blah. I don't know what it is, but TJ Watt's not going to be playing in the game. He had to have surgery to be able to correct it. And I just think it's a weird thing. I don't know if the league needs to take an extra look at that. But I don't know.
I mean, what is the league going to do?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's his deal.
Hey, Puka Nacua. The fine did come down, $25,000 for the comments on the refs. He might get an extra $25 for the tweet that he sent out that he immediately deleted.
And once it's out there, buddy,
he's like, "What? Was I wrong?" And you know what? He may have had a little bit of a point. At least Rams fans would have felt that way. But man,
who's trying to get on TV?
The amount of the only beef that I have with that commentary is typically the guy who throws the PI flag isn't the guy who's calling it on TV. Like, he's not the one who goes, I threw the flag, and they don't let you, if you called the penalty, you get to get on TV and make the call. So it's a little bit weird. But then you add into the mix that, the way that the game broke for Seattle at the end, everybody looks at this like, this is why. I have a friend growing up who was insistent that the NFL was a mafia-run deal, and it's fake. It's all just orchestrated, and this did not help the tinfoil hat people last night after it was all. I'm telling you, the conspiracy guys, they came out of the woodwork last night, Annapolis was probably one of them too. I don't know, so we'll see. They're 12-3. Rams are 11-4. The 49ers are 10-4. So if they can get a win this weekend, there's no way that the 49ers beat the Rams. I bet the Rams absolutely put it on these dudes. So, all right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We're at the road home. This hour, everything brought to you or matched this hour by the Huntsman Family Foundation, matching dollar for dollar up to $1 million all day long. So get your donation matched by the Huntsman Family Foundation right now. Also want to say thanks to Modern Display, who are also a big part of this and one of the great sponsors. But 801-819-7300 to get that dollar matched here. And it all goes to help those at the Road Home. It helps the Road Home keep their mission alive all year long. 801-819-7300. We'll come back. It's all brought to you also by the folks at Performance Automotive in Bountiful. We'll take a break. 97.5 EKSL Sports Zone.
Accessing.
When TV and radio collide.
Love it.
This is what you get. You're listening to JJ and Alex.
Don't touch that dial.
On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Now we're talking. Now we're talking Christmas music, Napolis.
Why are you not singing it?
Oh, I don't want to
It's the
embarrass
most-
anybody.
Hey, what are you
we might be
talking
on
about?
a
You
little.
are the karaoke king.
I know. We're also out of the studio. We're also out of the studio.
What?
Even if there's like a half a second delay, then it just sounds weird. And I'm not going to do it. You're right, though. I am the best singer at Broadcast House. No problem.
You could take that.
It's not a big deal.
It's not a title I'll fight for.
I did see Alex Boye in the building this week, though. So if he's in the building, then I'm not the best singer in the building. All right. Let me see here. Welcome back. We're at the road home. JJ and Alex, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. Alex, Kirry, Sly sitting in for JJ today, and we're doing a good cause thing today. Now, our show isn't a good cause every day, but today it is, and we lean on the folks from the road home who help this community so much. You can make your donation now. It gets matched by the Huntsman Family Foundation. 801-819-7300. That's 801-819-7300. Okay, Sly. I was trying to figure out earlier what this was going to look like because I didn't know if it was actually going to work, but I was looking for a top 10 and I found it, and I wanted to ask you your thoughts on this one. Out of the teams that are in the playoff, okay?
College football.
College football here.
Well, the Chiefs lost, so they're not in the playoffs anymore.
Yeah, well, but it's not just – so I have in front of me the bowls and their logos, but I'm not going to ask you about the logos. I'm going to ask you by popularity the most popular bowl games across the history of bowl games. So you're going to have to give me the bowl games of your which one are, and now obviously you have to think about the big ones, but you got to think about the other ones. This is by ratings all time.
Of like who watches these games?
Yeah, so so obviously people tune in because maybe it has the better matchups.
This is all bowl games, not just New Year's Six.
Not just New Year's Six. So you got to get those, and you got to get the rest of the four as well. So, so on your mark, get set, go.
Sugar Bowl, Rose
got it,
Bowl,
got it,
Cotton Bowl,
got it,
Orange Bowl,
got it.
Holiday Bowl. Why am I missing these? I said Rose Bowl. I said Cotton Bowl.
You have 5 of the 6. I have 5 of the 6.
What is the other freaking bowl? Okay, just bowl games. Popular, not Pop-Tarts. Bowl games. Music City. What's a good one? Bowl games. Fiesta Bowl. Oh, that's
yeah. There you go.
Fiesta
Ding.
Bowl. Let's go Emerald Bowl.
The Emerald Nut Bowl? No.
Poinciana Bowl, Vegas Bowl. Let's go. What is Arizona's bowl game used to be? Let's go El Paso Sun Bowl.
The Sun Bowl?
Sun Bowl. Let's see here. What is Cornhusker Bowl? What is
time.
Yeah, that's terrible.
The Cornhusker Bowl. Okay, so the other 4, you'll kick yourself a little bit. So the Citrus Bowl.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, I used to get that mixed up with the Orange Bowl.
Yeah, no, I know.
I used to.
I know, because my father-in-law played in the Tangerine Bowl. I know. That became the Citrus Bowl.
Right.
Because they were like, look, we're competing. You can't say
Peach Bowl. I didn't say Peach Bowl.
You didn't say the Peach Bowl.
Gosh, dang it.
So the Peach Bowl.
Yeah.
The Gator Bowl. The Citrus Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last one was, oh, my gosh, where did it go? And the last one is, I'm missing it now.
Wow.
Well, number 9. We're only going to be able to do 9.
Oh, what's the Sarsaparilla Bowl?
No, it's not the Sarsaparilla. The Sarsaparilla Bowl. No, absolutely not. You said we said the Outback Bowl. Well, anyway.
We didn't say the Outback Bowl.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Why is all these Florida games the most popular one?
Because the weather's nice, and a lot of teams want to play down there, and a lot of good teams end up playing on TV with those. So those are the highest rated in the history of the.
Phooey.
Number one, of course, is the Rose Bowl, the most desired bowl game to watch.
Granddaddy of them all.
It is a spectacular. I'm going to give that phone number out again. All your dollars are matched today by the Huntsman Family Foundation, and a big extra thanks also to the folks at Modern Display this hour who have helped us out as well. I'm going to give that phone number out, 801-819-7300. That's 801-819-7300, or go to theroadhome.org/donate. We'll come right back next hour. Let's talk Nebraska football and Utah football. Stay here with us, 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
Your home for the best coverage of the Jazz, Utes, and Cougars is right here on The Zone. This is JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, Sly, it's been 24 hours since we were able to digest the Kyle Whittingham media scrum. and of course, during that time, us and all the other media have been scrambling to try to guess and see
to dissect what he was actually talking about.
Oh, pause it right there. Look at his facial expression. There's a lot of that
I was
going
just
on.
looking at his shirt.
I think leaning on PK like we did yesterday is probably the best way to do it because PK is nothing if not a pro, but he also
understands these moments.
But he also, he gets a little bit of extra information, and he has no problem just being like, I wouldn't be surprised if, and then tell you, hey, fill in the blank. But ultimately, Kyle Whittingham's his own dude. What we do know is that going out on a year like this, I think
feels a lot better than 5-7.
Well, my question is if they would have gone 5-7 or 6-6, would he have come back again for another year till he left, quote unquote, left the program in good hands, or in a good spot? I guess is what he.
That would be the battle, right? That would be the battle. Is is it me? Am I the problem? Is what you would be battling versus what you're capable of and doing all of that. So honestly, the competitor spirit, and you got to understand what is the community asking for. We talked about it, mate, right? Those 7 losses last year, how many of those were defined by 8 points or less, right? If we add 8 more points to each of those games for you, are they 9-3, 10-2 last year? And so another typical season. So you understand exactly what you were missing, and he was able to right that ship this year. Unfortunately, losing to your rivals down south, and of course the eventual Big 12 championship, Big 12 champion Texas Tech. But I think that this guy just loves football.
Yeah.
Right? I know he's always said it I don't want to be here like my dad was, like Lavelle was, or whatever. But bro, it's in you. You keep fighting what's not you. And so, with that being said, it's hard to see him walk away. But at the same time, it's you got to understand this ever changing NCAA football. It's not about football anymore. What's
crazy is I picture Lavelle Edwards when he retired. He looked like a guy who, you go, yeah, you know what? He can retire. He's been doing it a long time. He retired at 70. That's only 4 years older than Kyle.
Right.
They're on a very different
path.
Trajectory, and I think that Kyle could do this for a lot longer than people might give him credit for.
I give him 5 more years that he could do this.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. If you want this guy to come in and right the ship at your program.
But guarantee 5 years, $100 million?
$100 million, huh, for 5 years?
Why not? These oil billionaires are doing it.
$20 million, no problem. All right. Our show, it's JJ and Alex, by the way. Alex, Kirry, Sly sitting in for JJ today. We're at the Road Home in Midvale, of course, and we're trying to help people, of course, who are dealing with homelessness right now in our community. And you can donate, and the Huntsman Family Foundation is helping this hour. Let me give the phone number out, 801-819-7300. That's 801-819-7300. We'll be here all the rest of our show. But first, let's get to the cut here because we've got to talk Utah versus Nebraska, another bowl game that we're looking at and we're going, okay, it's the battle of which team is going to care more about being in this bowl game. We're going to kick it off here this hour with the cut. Let's jump in here with Evan Bland. Let's do it.
It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Trajan Wealth brings you this portion of the program, TRAJANwealth.com, for all your trusted local needs in retirement. TrajanWealth.com. Evan Bland covers Nebraska football for the Omaha World-Herald. Evan, thanks for joining us, man.
You got it, guys. How's it going?
Oh, good. We're just it's bowl season, so every day a new bowl pops up on our TV, and we go, huh, that's today, huh? And here we are. It happened again this morning for me, but, of course, the first playoff game of the season is going to be happening tonight in less than an hour. The Nebraska football program, Nebraska facing off against Utah in the Vegas Bowl. Where is Matt Rule's program right now? Obviously, like in the exact moment, it feels from the outside looking in that it's quite a bit of turmoil, but is it less turmoil than we think or more?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on. They just hired a new defensive.
Right there.
That was a big sigh.
I mean, it's a busy time of year anyway, right? With the portal and everything, and Nebraska's former 5-star quarterbacks in there, and Dylan Raiola, and so they're rolling with their freshman TJ Lateef in the bowl game, and like I said, new defensive coordinator. They've hired a couple position coaches. Still have to find a defensive line coach, and so it's sort of an end to the 25 season in the sense that Nebraska wants to prove that what happened against Penn State and Iowa when they got run over and gave up 77 points, that was sort of a fluke, but they're also very much looking ahead into next season, and they're going to be playing this game without Emmett Johnson, who was a first-team All-American running back for them, and so this is, in a lot of ways, an audition for next season, as well as maybe exactly what the plan is going to be in the transfer portal for them next month. So kind of caught somewhere in between right now, but I know they felt like this was another season of improvement, but there's still a lot to go to get to where they want to be.
What happened during the month of November? It seems like the wheels kind of really fell off there towards the end of the season. You guys were rolling pretty well, about 6-2 at that point. But here we go into November, and a lot of things happened. What happened during that month of November?
Yeah, the big turning point was they had a November 1st home game against USC, and they had a blackout theme that night, and they're leading by 8 points in the third quarter, and they have the ball, and Dylan Raiola drops back, he gets sacked, he breaks his leg on the play, and Nebraska goes on to lose the game. And that was a major turning point in the season. That kind of was a game you felt like they had a pretty good chance to win, if not for that injury, and then things could have gone a lot differently. But they follow that up, they go to UCLA and beat, what's quite honestly been a bad Bruins team this year. And then really the thing that I think a lot of fans worried about all year was how would Nebraska hold up on the line of scrimmage, especially on the defensive side. And they played in their last two games, Penn State and Iowa, who were just able to assert their dominance. And that's kind of where that went. And, like I mentioned earlier, they've since fired their defensive line coach, made a change at defensive coordinator, and that's been the one non-negotiable in this Matt Rule era is they can tolerate mistakes, but they can't tolerate a lack of physicality and a lack of toughness, and that's really what happened over those last two games. Iowa's been a team that's held down Nebraska for the last decade plus, and that happened again. And I think you saw the sense of urgency with some of the moves since that point. But the month of November has been a real struggle for Nebraska for a long time. That predates the Matt Rule era by quite a few years. So they're still trying to figure that thing out. It hasn't happened yet, but that's quite honestly what they want to be is what Utah is. They want to be defined by what they do on the line of scrimmage, and then you kind of figure things out from there, and they just haven't gotten to that point yet.
I covered a game between BYU and Nebraska, I guess it was 2016 maybe, and going to Memorial Stadium was like one of those checklist things for a guy who loved watching football growing up and covered it and now works kind of in this industry, and it was just one of those places that I was in awe of, 90,000 strong there. Matt Rule extends, and he was part of that conversation of the possibility of maybe going back to Penn State, all that stuff. But the reaction of Nebraska saying, hey, we want you to stay here, obviously they want him there then. Or at least they feel like he could take them to a place that they haven't been. And I don't think anybody is going to go, well, you just have to get us back to Tom Osborne levels and you'll be fine. I mean, that's a lot to ask of a guy. But what is Matt Rule's – how is he approaching the community? What do people think of him? And obviously the athletic department believes he can bring success to this program long term.
Yeah, I mean, he's been great as a CEO, as a big picture visionary type. And Nebraska has given him everything that he wants, whether that's plans to, have grass practice fields, to some of the nutrition things. They want to be the best, have the best training table in the country in terms of the meals that they provide. There's a brand new facility with, strength training and things that are top of the line. But I think with Rule, like, he's a guy who loves the community. That's a big part of it. And he's comfortable going out and representing the brand. I mean, he'll go on the Pat McAfee show on ESPN, and he'll have his own podcast. And he does these things not to self-promote. I really believe it's to put Nebraska out there. And you contrast that with a long line of head coaches at Nebraska who haven't gotten it done, and he's a breath of fresh air. When you think back to the Scott Frost era or the Mike Riley era, Bo Pelini before that, they all had different ways that they, I think, were uncomfortable in Lincoln, in kind of the center of the spotlight. And, Matt Rule's a guy who's East Coast tough, who's been an NFL head coach, and I think has kind of found his calling in college. And quite honestly, his strengths, in my opinion, are more valuable in today's college football than they would have been even 10 years ago, when you're talking about re-recruiting your roster every year and igniting a fan base and just doing a lot of the things that you didn't have to do back then. So I think he's very much ingratiated himself to the fan base. They've won they've shown improvement every year. They went 5-7 in his first year, 6-6 last year, 7-5 now. So it hasn't been Curt Cignetti explosion like you've seen at Indiana, but there has been a steady progression that I think fans appreciate. They haven't been to consecutive bowl games in more than a decade, so there is progress when you look at what's going on. I just think the way the season ended, fans were looking for a little bit more this year. The schedule lined up for a little bit more this year. And ultimately, I think they're still happy with the progress that's been made. They just wish it would have been a little more.
So what has the vibe been like with I don't even know if this is possible for you to understand or no, just the recruiting aspect, right? With Raiola going into the transfer portal, my other question was, what was the vibe like when the Penn State thing with Matt Rule earlier this season was going on? But how has the recruiting been affected? I know that Matt Rule wants to improve this program. You talked about nutrition. You talked about, the grass fields and stuff like that, and understanding exactly what the program needs. But what is the conversations like with bringing in new talent?
Well, I think it does start with Dylan Raiola. I mean, he was a guy when he committed a couple years ago as a 5-star who had been committed to Ohio State, to Georgia. Like, he made it okay for the other top talent in the country to consider Nebraska. Like, that got a lot of people's attention. And ultimately, there was some talent that followed him, probably not as much as maybe he anticipated or Nebraska anticipated. But I do think this upcoming offseason is going to be very telling, as it will be at a lot of schools, because for the first time it's about revenue sharing, and it's not just pay-for-play NIL, which is what we've seen the last few years. And that's been an area where Nebraska has not been at the level of a lot of the other fellow blue bloods in the sport. And so it feels like really for the first time since in this transfer era that they're on equal ground in terms of the financial piece of what goes into this. And so we're going to see how that translates necessarily, but that's a really interesting part. And then, I mentioned the facilities are brand new. The fan support is top 2% in college football when you talk about the consecutive sellout streak back to the 1960s and how that can translate to true NIL and these different things. So they're very much trying to operationalize a lot of these things that have been assets for Nebraska in the past. And, if you go to Las Vegas and you look good against a Utah team that you're a big underdog against, I think that could get some attention as well. But, ultimately players want to go places where they're in the college football playoff and they're playing meaningful football games in November. Right. Nebraska's sort of getting there. It's not to the point where they want to be, but I do think that all the pieces around the program are in place for them to succeed. It just hasn't happened with that big season that's allowed things to take off.
One of the things, obviously, preparing for this game, we always have to guess. Now, if it's not a college football playoff matchup, it seems like these teams, you got to figure out what their motivation level is. But with the Kyle Whittingham team, and now with him stepping away, they announced, of course, Morgan Scalley's going to be the head coach, but he's going to be they're going to both be on that sideline roaming. It might be for the last time ever for Kyle Whittingham, certainly as a head coach. What is the Nebraska fan base and kind of everybody else looking on from the outside looking into Utah? What do they think of this Utah program, and what do they think about what this team is that they're going to be facing off against in Las Vegas?
A ton of respect. I mean, truly, like, Utah plays the way that I think Nebraska fans ache to return to. Like, when you think about the best Nebraska football teams, when they win 3 titles in the 90s and, they're playing for a national title, and as recently as 2001, like, those teams were defined by their lines of scrimmage and their toughness and just the style of play. And I think there's been a high level of respect for how Utah goes about its business in that regard. Like I mentioned, both lines of scrimmage being dominant pieces. Nebraska would kill to have 2 tackles being high NFL draft picks. Like, that's just not something that they've seen in a long time. And so
the good news is they don't have to face them in the bowl game.
Well, yeah, that's true. But I just think the style of play that Utah has, the style of the culture that Kyle Whittingham's put there, Nebraska fans respect that. Probably the Big Ten comparison would have been Wisconsin until the last couple of years. But Nebraska, like, game recognizes game, right? Like, that's kind of something that I think Nebraska fans are excited about. And quite honestly, that's the reason why I think there's not a ton of optimism that Nebraska is going to be able to hang in this game, because I think there's a belief locally in Lincoln that the Utah program is just so rock solid that they're going to be able to plug and play with whoever's next at tackle. And they're so confident in their identity and how they go about their business. Whereas, Nebraska now is getting ready for its 3rd defensive coordinator in 4 years, and they're kind of trying to figure out what they do well and how they go about things. So I think Utah's been in a place where Nebraska wants to be, with continuity, toughness, identity, and it's going to be really interesting to see those 2 programs clash on that 31st.
Yeah, I mean, my last question is kind of, wrapped around all of that. I definitely understand where you stand and where Nebraska wants to be, but I'm always intrigued when they have new coaching staffs and new people in and how they want to preach and bring people in, right? Like, what is Nebraska? Has Nebraska said anything about how they plan to get these guys to understand the new coaching just for this one game, right? The new defensive coordinator, defensive line. You guys are giving up over 200 yards rushing in the month of November, and that's Utah's bread and butter. How are Nebraska talking about navigating around that?
Well, it's sort of a transitional time. So the defensive coordinator for this game is not their new hire, Rob Orich. It's a guy who's been an associate head coach. Phil Snow is his name. He was Matt Rule's DC for the first 10 years of his head coaching career. So he's the one leading the charge in this game. And part of the reason they made the change was they felt like defensively they weren't getting enough, maybe emotional amping, like the players just weren't ready emotionally or weren't all that prepared. So Phil Snow's been a guy throughout his career who has done that. So it'll be interesting to see how things change in that regard. And then actually today, Matt Rule had a press conference, and he's sort of seen the light recently in terms of now he's working with the defensive line, which is something he hasn't done much at all in his time at Nebraska. Like his whole thing lately has been when his hat's on backward, he's Matt. He's not Coach Rule. He's Matt. He's the guy who's going to get in there and be a defensive line coach. Yeah. So I think the players have felt like that's made a difference in the last couple of weeks too. So to me, that's, I think, one of the fascinating pieces to watch is you're largely going to see the same Nebraska team that you saw in November. But if some of these changes have taken effect, you'll probably see a team that's a little bit more motivated, probably more sure of itself in terms of where it needs to be and how it goes about its business. So I think that's fascinating, like to see the value of enthusiasm, motivation, energy, whatever you want to call it, it does seem like they feel like they need to sort of acquit themselves to what happened against Penn State and Iowa, and I think there's a sense that they realize they're a big underdog in this game, and in a way that can kind of free them up to do what they do. Not that it's necessarily going to work, but I do think you're going to see a team that's a little bit more motivated and energetic than you saw down the stretch.
Evan Bland, he covers Nebraska football for the Omaha World-Herald. Evan, appreciate it. Obviously a New Year's Eve game in Las Vegas. Looking forward to it, and thanks for hanging out with us, man.
Appreciate you guys. Yep. Take care.
There you go. All right. It's tough to throw a freshman quarterback in there against this defense, huh?
Yeah, Jackson Benny's going to tee off on that nickel blitz, man.
All right. Well, yeah, I don't think – if I'm a Nebraska fan, I don't have a lot of confidence
you're going to
be –
because Morgan Scalley's going to be wanting to set a stage for what his team is going to be.
Oh,
like.
you're right.
It's going to be an absolute – yeah.
He already wants to start getting that identity.
If he's saying it's
going
to be the same Nebraska team from all of November, that is –
well, it's It's a bad deal.
That's a bad deal.
Let me get that phone number out. If you want to get your dollars matched, dollar for dollar, with the help of the Huntsman Family Foundation this hour, give us a call right now. There are people in need, and those dollars are going to go so far. And it's not just about this time of the year. It's about all year long, 365 days a year. They have to put people in the shelter. They have to house families. They have to house couples or single people, whatever the circumstances are, and for whatever reason that they have found themselves homeless in that moment. 801-819-7300. Get those dollars matched right now. 801-819-7300. Or just go to theroadhome.org/donate. That's theroadhome.org/donate. We will come back. We've got more coming up here. By the way, it's a Mammoth hockey night. They're back at home. That's a good one. That's good news for Bear Tourney and his guys. The New Jersey Devils coming into town. And we're going to get you ready for that one as well at the top of the hour. Stay here with us, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
The exclusive home of the Utah Mammoth is on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Schmaltz out wide, shoots, rebound, they score! Clayton Keller stashes it in, and the Mammoth are out in front early in period number 2. Sergachev pinches down, finds Hayden, he looks in, shoots at the goal line, they score! Punched in by Dylan Gunther. Hayden got it to the front, and Gunther had the exclamation point. Keller right circle, one-timer, Stenlund, he scores! Mammoth follow it up, and it's 4-1. Kevin Stenlund with a rocket.
You're locked into JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back, everybody. JJ and Alex on a Friday afternoon. We're going to have a college football playoff game coming up here in a few minutes. Oklahoma hosting Alabama. That should be a really fun one. I was looking at this thing here, Sly. I'm going to pull it back up again. I have in front of me. Could you name teams that have a first-team All-American on the first-team All-American team, offense or defense?
Name teams?
Yeah, name however many teams you could come up with. Teams, first-team offense and first-team defense.
They have both?
No, just any one of those. Any team.
I mean, they got to be Big Ten SEC front-loaded there, from Miami to Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama, of course.
No Alabama first-team All-Americans.
Ryan Smith didn't get on that? Is it Ryan Smith? Who's the receiver down there? Oh, did he get injured this year?
I don't know.
I thought he would have been, but
no Alabama. No Alabama on there.
All right, Oregon.
Oregon's on there. Of course,
Mendoza, Pavia. Did Pavia make second team?
No, Pavia. With
Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt they say they have a first teamer somewhere. Their logo's in here. So
Texas A&M,
Texas Tech, and Texas A&M. No Texas.
Oh, Jacob Rodriguez, Texas Tech. That guy, I know he's on there.
Yep, got it.
He's a beast. First team All-Americans, Utah, of course.
You're doing awesome, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
The ones that are still up, you probably won't get them.
Right.
USC's on the list. Notre Dame's on the list.
Syracuse.
And LSU's on the list, okay? The ones you wouldn't have expected, Lots of special teams. Hawaii's kicker. Hawaii's kicker got first team.
Didn't you have like All-American. 4 game winners this year?
La Tech has a first team. Yeah, La Tech is
O-line, D-line?
No idea. Mizzou.
Oh, it's long snap.
How about Western Kentucky with a first team addition on? Navy's also got a first team All-American.
Western Kentucky always has a prolific offense.
There's always something going on, yeah. So there you go. Those are all the teams. Oh, UConn. Who would have thought UConn's got a first teamer?
Yeah. Oh, what is it? The Holder?
I don't know if Holder's there. DB, by the way, La Tech's DB is there, and so is the punter from. It's Western Kentucky's punter that made it. And then I would assume that. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out. Oh, Skylar Bell is the wideout from UConn who's got All-American honors.
Bell,
yeah,
nice.
yeah. Yep. So there you go. Okay, let's talk some hockey. The Mammoth, of course, hosting tonight, coming back home, hosting the Devils of New Jersey coming into town. I went to this game last year when the Devils came into town. You know, they have the one trip out here that they'll do once a year, and they had a hard time against New Jersey. They lost at home to this team.
Wasn't our Utah Grizzlies team like a farm league of New Jersey or something? Like
I'm not sure. Maybe the ECHL rep it's like a double A kind of. I don't know. Maybe
there was some kind of tie there.
Either way, New Jersey coming into town tonight, and I'm telling you, they've had a couple days off since that back-to-back that saw them lose one night to the Boston Bruins and then win the next night against the Atlantic leading Detroit Red Wings, and it was a blowout. It was just a phenomenal game, and to be able to put it together. So they're going to have a home. Game here before they go back out on the road again. But this is huge right now. This is kind of crunch time because the pressure for Bill Armstrong to get it done, the pressure for Bear to get it done, I think it's just really ramping up.
Oh yeah.
And anytime they've had like moments where they lose a couple in a row, people start to go, hold on a minute, what are we doing here? Right. And then they start looking around going, who are you going to fire? Who are you going to get rid of? And those are conversations that are being had.
Well, you don't want to get too far out of the mix.
Right.
Minnesota Wilds are already 7 games.
So the thing is that in their division, like they're 10 points behind the next team in the standings.
Right.
They're 10 points behind Minnesota to get into that third spot in the Western or in the Central Division. Making up 10 points, and they have one more game. They've played one more game than the Wild have.
Right.
I mean, that's 5 wins.
Yeah.
Right there, that's
the
separation.
Having Minnesota lose 5 games.
Oh yeah. No, it's Colorado is leading, and they're the best team in the league right now. Dallas is right there; they're super good. Minnesota's got 47 points, 55, 51, division. 47. I know, and then the rest are Utah's leading the pack of 5 teams that are in the 30s of points.
Yeah,
and that's not a great place to be in. However, all you can do is win games, and they won 2 out of the last 3, and they've been playing a lot better. But I don't know when they come home. So here's the thing: you want to be 500 on the road. They're 9-11-2 on the road, so they're almost there. At home, they've had more losses than I think they wanted to take, obviously. But 8-5-1 at home. They are 5-5 in their last 10. I think that this team with New Jersey coming into town tonight, I think you have an opportunity here. You steal that win, and you steal a win from those guys. And New Jersey, I don't think is as good as they were last year at this time when they came in. But New Jersey is also right now coming off of so they're on the road right now. Vegas a couple days ago. They're coming here to Utah tonight, and so they're going to be semi-fresh. It's not a back-to-back for them, but this is a big one.
Still West Coast trip.
Yeah, and you wonder how much that impacts how teams do and what they're going to look like here. But they're about 5. They're the same thing, 5-5 out of their last 10, and so this is a winnable game for Bear Tourney and his guys. And I think the energy that they've had on the road, interestingly enough, recently at home hasn't necessarily been matched. So I want to see that energy at home tonight matched like they had. How do you bottle up that Detroit Red Wings performance and bottle up the attitude that went with that? I'm hoping that they carry some of that into the arena tonight.
What's hard about those things is you got to kind of forget about it. You got to take this new game as a new game, right? You can't really live on the last game. It's just like you preparing for the last game. You can't change how you prepare from game to game. You got to give the same energy in preparations. Just because it worked out the last game doesn't mean it's going to work out this game. So they have to treat this opponent not like it's the Detroit Red Wings, but as the New Jersey Devils, man. And so they have to go out there and just have the same mindset of kicking their butt. But, like, you can't sit here and be like, oh, we did good last game, that's going to carry over to this one. No, you got to put that out and be forceful and intentional is what the word I like to use. They got to be intentional about the work that they put in, and they're very capable. We've talked about how this team has just been absolutely outstanding all year. Dylan Gunther has played.
He's been awesome lately,
awesome.
too.
Every highlight, this guy is just a goal machine. And so him putting up points, the defense, they just got to continue on taking it game by game, not taking the last game with them, whether bad or good, right? If they had a bad last game, forget about it. Good last game, forget about it. This is a new game, new day, and you just keep winning, man. In your community, your team, administration, everybody's going to be right behind you.
Take a break here. We'll come back. We'll dip in one more time with one of our guests here at the road home. And we're taking those donations all day long. They're getting matched all day long by the folks at the Huntsman Family Foundation, 801-819-7300. It's all part of our road home mediathon here during the holidays. And we love being able to bring that to you. So we'll take a break here. We'll come back and we'll get you ready for hockey next. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
For the best and worst moments on today's show, as JJ and Alex want to hear your best and worst of the day.
All right, everybody, welcome back. JJ and Alex, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. Alex, Kirry here. Sly filling in for JJ today. Appreciate you coming along here with us. We're going to get in with one of our guests today, and Elizabeth Stenek. Am I saying that right? Let me see here. Stenek. Okay, I just didn't want to Stenek then.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so Stenek. Now, listen, this is fun because Elizabeth has been feeding all of us here in this tent, and I did not give the proper respect when she showed up. I was like, oh, you've been feeding this. And look, talk show hosts, DJs, we're a hungry group. So
As you should be.
We appreciate the support from you guys. But obviously, Texas Roadhouse, the road home, you don't just go, well, we'll just donate some food to a thing. The road home is a big deal in this community, trying to fight the homelessness.
Yeah.
It's a huge deal. Why do you guys get involved? Why is that important to Texas Roadhouse?
So our founder, Kent Taylor, he had this vision of us being in the community. So every Texas Roadhouse has one of me, which is a local store marketer. Basically, I'm a walking, talking Texas Roadhouse commercial.
Yes, you are.
But how I go through that is, thankfully, my managing partner, Nick Smith, is so generous in our community. So a school calls me and they're like, hey, we want you to do a field trip, or we would like to, have you be a part of this event. Riverton, Harriman, Bluffdale, South Jordan, all of the firefighters, the first responders, I have all of their numbers. They call me. Harriman does like to pull me over every once in a while, and I'm like, what did I do? And they're like, hey, Elizabeth. And I'm like, oh, hey. So just, be part in that community and give back. You won't ever see a Texas Roadhouse commercial because us giving back into the community is our way of building our business and supporting that community.
The armadillo has showed up at my kids' elementary school multiple times. And so
Mr. Andy, he's fantastic.
Is that what his name is?
His name is Andy the Armadillo.
Yeah, Mr. Andy. I love Mr. Andy. Very proper. But that's cool. They give you guys like the flexibility to say, hey, this is important to us here in the community.
Right.
And they go, great. Yeah, jump on that. Come on. We want you guys to be involved in it. And a lot of people do. They go, hey, we're here. Just know that we're here. But you guys are here, and you're on the ground, and you're doing it.
Absolutely. Our community supports us 363 days out of the year because we're closed on Christmas and Thanksgiving. So everybody's really sad for Christmas. But we want to give back. We want to support our first responders. Texas Roadhouse gives free meals to our veterans on Veterans Day with vouchers. Or our store alone has raised $40,000 for breast cancer, for the Nixon Strong Foundation, for our veterans, Make-A-Wish Foundation. We're just all about what we can give back.
Texas Roadhouse, one of the many supporting groups and sponsors that are helping out at this event. We appreciate what you guys are doing.
Well,
Elizabeth,
thank you very much.
So much. I'm going to give that phone number out right now, 801-819-7300. That's 801-819-7300. And you can also, and all those dollars are matched, by the way, right now by the folks at the Huntsman Family Foundation. We appreciate all of their support as well. We've got hockey coming up here around the corner. Want to remind you, This show, of course, brought to you by Performance Automotive in Bountiful. Don't forget what they do. And then, of course, the Doug Smith brand of dealerships in American Fork, Spanish Fork, and in Linden. Nobody knows cars like Doug. You've got hockey coming up here around the corner. Normally on a night like this, Sly, I walk over to the arena and just start, and I catch the first period, but we're down here in Midvale. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have the double screen up. Hockey on one side, college football playoff on another.
Let's do it.
I'm looking forward to it. And I know. And listen, one more time, Oklahoma and Alabama. You said you had somebody. We differed on this one. I said I have Alabama.
I had Oklahoma.
You have Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to text you during this one, just because I like texting talk. I like to have.
I like to have talk crap, because I'll spend my whole night talking crap to you. Don't get started, because
I gave Napolis the shh emoji
last night,
and he barely even responded. Man.
Oh yeah, that's not me. I'll be there all day. Even if I'm losing, I'm still gonna be
okay.
talking smack.
I'm all for it then. So I'll send you good vibes from the Mammoth
and when
game
I make
that I'm
my
watching.
meatball subs this weekend, I'll definitely
You'll be thinking of me.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. We appreciate all that the Road Home is doing in our community. Let me give that phone number out one more time: 801-819-7300. That's 801-819-7300. Hockey up next. Don't miss it. Your pregame show for the Utah Mammoth, and then puck drops at 7 right here on 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.